Hello and welcome to ADHD and Autism Advocacy's newest video on ADHD. During this video I'm going to be discussing why I feel that people should be mindful about the words that they use around people with ADHD, especially around kids, and the impact that these kind of words can have on that person growing up. I draw from different types of literature throughout this video, but it's very much embedded in my own personal experience of ADHD growing up. ADHD is currently understood as a brain difference. There's been evidence to suggest that the difficulties or differences in processing around the prefrontal cortex, because the prefrontal cortex area of the brain is responsible for things like attention sequencing, emotion regulation, decision making, those kind of things. Prefrontal cortex is also responsible for controlling different chemicals within the brain, including dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin. These three neurotransmitters are really important for mood regulation, which is why sometimes those with ADHD have difficulty managing their emotional responses. In connection with this, sometimes the neurotransmitter is permanently reabsorbed back into the neuron. This basically means that the neuron can't relay the message adequately or in a timely way, and this can cause things like brain fog, confused thinking, and things like thought processes can become a little bit muddled. Because of this difference in brain processing, our thoughts and therefore our behaviour stands out. This is why we always get picked out in classrooms. This is why our self-esteem can be so low. And this is why we need help and support. I am sharing my experience of being an undiagnosed ADHD child in order to reflect the kinds of labels that get assigned to ADHD, regardless of whether it's identified medically or not. The world can be really unforgiving and dismissive of our differences in attention and rebrand them very easily as naughty. Those of us who are ADHD are majorly misunderstood. We're given labels such as unthoughtful, unorganised, uncaring, forgetful. These kind of labels imply that we do not care, but I'm here as proof to say this really isn't true, and in fact, many of us who are ADHD care too much. We also get labels such as distracted, silly, attention-seeking, and needy. These kind of labels make us feel like we're less than the other children around us. ADHD-type associated behaviours can be really embarrassing for the child as well as the people around them, because majority of the time they're just not intentional. But that doesn't stop other people perceiving them as if they are intentional. We are also told to concentrate, sit still, stop moving, stop talking. But our bodies are not in our control. ADHD movements help us to concentrate as well. And we simply may not understand when we can and can't talk. The rules keep on changing from one situation to the next, and it can be really, really confusing. We are also told that our acts of impulsivity are intentional, naughty, immature, and rude. We're told things like if we try harder, then we'll be able to be good children. We are very often sent out, shouted at, and told to move away and think about what we have done. We are very often isolated and moved to our own seat away from other children, singled out, segregated. We are told that we don't fulfill our potential. We could do so much better if we were just able to sit still and concentrate. But I'm here to tell you that from my perspective, most of the time, I just didn't know what I was being told off for. Like many ADHD kids, I spent a lot of my childhood utterly confused with what was happening around me. The difficulty being that as children, if we're told over and over again that we are these labels, it really starts to impact our self-esteem, our self-worth, and we start to internalise these things as truth. My ADHD diagnosis at the age of 35 was such a light bulb moment. It explains so much of my past as well as my present. It's given me an opportunity to reflect on the kind of things that I was told as a child and to reframe them as an adult. So when I catch myself saying that, I'm stupid or I'm slow or why can't I do this or why I get so frustrated with myself for my ADHD, I stop now and reflect on who has given me these words. It's really highlighted that we need to stop the stigma of being diagnosed ADHD. If somebody needs support, it's much better that they have a diagnosis and support in that area than hold on to these other labels that are so freely given to undiagnosed children. So the take-home message in this video is very much, please be thoughtful of what your words you use around children. There's a wonderful quote by Peggy O'Mara that says, the way we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. Let's collectively help the next generation form a positive, loving, unique, amazing inner voice. Let's teach them to be kind to themselves. Let's reframe their experiences into a loving, supportive way. Let's help the next generation of ADHD children to be proud of who they are, not embarrassed. Thank you very much for watching this video. Should you want to join us at ADHD and Autism Advocacy, please come to our Facebook group where I'll be looking forward to reading your comments and answering any questions. Thank you.